Avowed is a first-person RPG where you explore a mysterious fantasy world, fight powerful enemies, and make choices that actually change the story. And honestly, it's got that classic RPG feel with a fresh twist. The combat is really fun because you can mix and match weapons and magic, but sometimes it feels like it's missing that extra bit of polish. The world is super detailed, with a ton of lore to dive into, but some areas feel kind of empty, like they could have added more to do. The characters are interesting, and the story has some great moments, but it doesn't always grab you as much as it should. It's a solid RPG with some really cool ideas, and if you love games like Skyrim or Pillars of Eternity, you'll probably enjoy this one too.
What do you know of the living lands?
Banishers: Ghost of New Eden is an action-adventure game that follows two ghost hunters who fight spirits while dealing with a tragic love story, and it creates a really emotional and immersive experience. The narrative is deep and gripping, with tough choices that actually impact the story, making you feel invested in the characters. The combat is fast-paced and fun, but it can get a bit repetitive after a while. The atmosphere and visuals are stunning, really bringing the eerie world to life. If you like story-driven games with emotional twists, it's definitely worth checking out.
The place is coming down!
Okay!
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a big adventure game where you play as Indiana Jones, exploring cool places and finding ancient secrets. It's like being in your own indie movie. You get to use his whip, solve puzzles, and fight bad guys, which is really fun. The whip mechanics are surprisingly versatile, letting you swing, grapple, and even disarm enemies in creative ways. Sometimes, though, the puzzles can be a bit tricky, and some parts of the game feel a bit slow. But honestly, the feeling of exploring ancient ruins and finding hidden treasures is really exciting. Plus, the way the game captures the feel of the movies is really well done. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth continues the epic adventure with stunning graphics and even more exciting twists and turns. The combat is a blast, mixing action and strategy to make each battle feel truly epic. Explore a massive world filled with bustling cities and dangerous dungeons while experiencing an emotional story that will stay with you long after the credits roll. It's awesome to see what happens to Cloud and his friends after they leave Midgar. While the game can feel a bit linear and some story choices might divide fans, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is still an unforgettable experience. This thrilling adventure with amazing visuals and a captivating story is a must-play for any RPG fan. So I tried Nine Sols recently and was really impressed by how well it combines fast-paced action and platforming with a story inspired by Asian mythology. I absolutely loved the hand-drawn art style that gives the game a really unique look. The combat is so much fun with the mix of swordplay and deflection mechanics that make every fight feel intense, but I did find some of the platforming parts to be a bit tricky because they require really precise jumps. The story is good, but it does feel like it drags in some places, but even with these small issues, I think it's a really solid game that's worth checking out if you like action platformers. Black Ops 6 is a first-person shooter that delivers the intense action and fast-paced gunfights the series is famous for. The campaign is packed with explosive moments, and the multiplayer has plenty of customization options that keep things interesting. I really enjoyed the smooth controls and the exciting combat, but the story in the campaign didn't feel very fresh, and some of the missions were a bit too predictable. The multiplayer is fun, but it doesn't add much that we haven't seen before. Still, if you're a fan of Call of Duty, you'll find a lot to like here. It's just one of those games that's perfect for playing with friends. Space Marine 2 throws you right into the action-packed world of Warhammer 40k, where you play as a towering space marine named Titus. You'll use powerful guns and brutal melee attacks to fight hordes of Tyranids alien creatures that want to eat everything in their path. The action is intense and gory, with huge battles and epic boss fights that will test your skills. The game looks amazing with detailed environments and awesome special effects that really bring the Warhammer universe to life. You can even team up with friends to fight the Tyranid threat together in co-op mode. If you like action-packed games with big guns and even bigger enemies, then Space Marine 2 is definitely worth checking out. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is a turn-based RPG that tells an emotional story filled with humor, and it does an amazing job of balancing serious moments with laugh-out-loud comedy. The story is really engaging, and the characters are so charming and relatable that you get invested in their journey. The combat system is strategic and fun, although the pacing can slow down a bit in longer battles. But there's so much to do with all the side quests and minigames that the world feels really alive and exciting to explore. It's definitely a must-play if you're into story-rich RPGs.
Mark this. He's not just any monkey. He's a monkey of merit.
Black Myth: Wukong is an action RPG that dives deep into Chinese mythology, letting you play as the Monkey King with crazy, shape-shifting abilities and powerful magic. The combat is intense and feels really satisfying, especially when you master the dodges and counters. I was really impressed by how smooth the animations are, making every move feel impactful. Visually, the game looks stunning with its detailed environments and fluid animations, which make every fight feel epic. But some of the enemy encounters can feel a bit repetitive after a while. Still, the storytelling and unique setting keep you hooked. If you love challenging action RPGs, this one is definitely worth checking out. Silent Hill 2 Remake is a survival horror game that beautifully brings back the eerie world of Silent Hill with modern graphics and sound design. It captures the creepy atmosphere perfectly, making every corner feel unsettling. I really enjoyed exploring the detailed environments and solving the challenging puzzles. The emotional story still hits hard, and the improved voice acting adds to the experience. The combat is a bit clunky, but it didn't bother me too much because the focus is more on exploration and story. If you love psychological horror, this remake is definitely worth checking out. Stellar Blade is an action RPG set in a futuristic world, and it's all about fast-paced combat and exploring beautifully designed environments. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the combat feels smooth and satisfying, especially with all the cool moves and combos you can pull off. I really enjoyed the boss fights, which were challenging but not unfair, and they kept me on my toes. However, the story felt a bit shallow, and I didn't connect much with the characters, which was a little disappointing. Still, if you love action games with great visuals and fluid combat, it's definitely worth checking out. It's one of those games that's just fun to play, even if the story isn't the strongest. Animal Well is one of those games where you start off completely lost, but then as you keep exploring, everything starts making sense. And that feeling is just so satisfying. It's a puzzle platformer that drops you into this quiet but mysterious world filled with strange creatures and hidden secrets everywhere. The game doesn't explain much, so you have to experiment and figure things out, which makes every discovery feel super rewarding. The only downside is that it can be a little too cryptic at times, so if you don't like getting stuck, you might find it frustrating. But if you enjoy a game that respects your curiosity, this is an amazing experience. Astro Bot is a 3D platformer that feels like a love letter to classic games, with tight controls, beautiful environments, and some really fun mechanics. Every level introduces something new, whether it's a cool power-up or a clever platforming challenge. The way the game uses haptic feedback makes it feel super interactive, and honestly, it's one of the best platforming experiences on PlayStation. The only downside is that it's not the longest game out there, but every moment of it is packed with fun. If you love games that are just pure joy to play, this one is for you. Dragon's Dogma 2 is an amazing action RPG that throws you into a huge open world filled with mythical creatures and dangerous quests where you can climb on monsters and really feel the impact of your attacks. You can create your own character and recruit companions called pawns to help you in battle, which adds a really cool layer of strategy to the gameplay. The combat is fast-paced and exciting with tons of different skills and abilities to learn and master. Plus, the world is just stunning with beautiful environments and a day-night cycle that makes it feel truly alive. While some of the quests can be a bit repetitive and the story can be a little confusing at times, Dragon's Dogma 2 is still an incredible adventure that any fan of action RPGs should definitely check out. Metaphor Refantazio is a turn-based RPG that throws you into a massive fantasy world filled with kingdoms, war, and some really cool characters. The combat is pretty deep, mixing classic turn-based strategy with fast-paced mechanics, and the art style is absolutely stunning. The world feels alive, with a lot of unique locations to explore, and some great music that fits every moment perfectly. But I will say, the pacing can feel a bit slow at times, especially in the early hours. Some of the UI could also be a little more user-friendly, but once you get into it, the game really starts to shine. If you love deep RPGs with a strong story and amazing visuals, this one is definitely worth checking out. If you're enjoying the video and want to support a growing channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a side-scrolling action platformer that brings back the classic feel of the old games but with a fresh, modern look. It mixes fast-paced combat with clever puzzles and platforming challenges, making each level feel really exciting. I was really impressed by how smooth the movement feels, especially when chaining jumps and wall runs together. The boss fights are fun and require some strategy, but some of them felt a bit too easy. The art style is beautiful, with vibrant colors that make the world feel alive. Even though some of the puzzles were a little repetitive, the combat and platforming kept me hooked. I played Rise of the Ronin recently, and honestly, it felt like stepping into a wild samurai movie, where you get to decide everything. This is an open-world action game where you're a Ronin, a masterless samurai, and you're caught right in the middle of a big fight in Japan. The fighting is really cool. Like, you can switch between different sword styles and it feels super smooth, but sometimes the story felt a bit all over the place, like it was trying to do too much. Exploring the world is fun, there's lots to see, but some of the side quests were a bit repetitive. You know, just go here, hit this, come back. Still swinging your sword and feeling like a badass Ronin, that's where this game really shines. Tekken 8 is the newest entry in the iconic fighting game series, continuing the fast-paced one-on-one battles with stunning graphics and improved gameplay mechanics. I was really impressed with how smooth and responsive the combat feels, making it super satisfying to pull off combos, and the character roster is fantastic, bringing back some fan favorites while introducing a few new faces. The stages are beautifully designed, and the overall presentation is top-notch. The only downside I noticed is that the story mode feels a bit rushed and not as engaging as in previous games, but the multiplayer more than makes up for it with its competitive and fun experience. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl throws you into a harsh and unforgiving world where survival is key. Explore the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, a place filled with dangerous mutants, deadly anomalies, and other stalkers all competing for survival. You'll need to scavenge for supplies, manage your resources, and make tough choices to stay alive in this unforgiving environment. The game features a massive open world with dynamic weather and day-night cycles that create a truly immersive experience. Uncover the secrets of the zone, complete dangerous missions, and encounter memorable characters as you explore this atmospheric and captivating world. This game is not for the faint of heart, but if you're looking for a challenging and rewarding survival experience, this game is a must-play. Marvel Rivals is a fighting game that brings together Marvel's most famous heroes and villains in exciting one-on-one battles with flashy moves and powerful abilities. The combat is fast-paced and feels really satisfying, especially when you pull off special moves. The graphics are fantastic and the voice acting is spot on, really bringing the characters to life. I had a lot of fun playing through the story mode, but it ended sooner than I expected, and I was left wanting more. The multiplayer is fun, but could use some tweaks for better balance. Even with these minor flaws, it's a must-play for Marvel fans. It's one of those games that's perfect for quick matches or long play sessions.
That's 3! Wow, 4 in a row! 5!
If you're enjoying the video and want to support a growing channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Witcher 4 is shaping up to be a huge step forward, with Unreal Engine 5 powering incredible visuals and fast loading for a smooth experience. Playing as Ciri, you'll hunt monsters and explore a vibrant open world full of secrets and quests. The new multi-character motion system makes horse riding feel seamless, and the world's forests and towns are packed with detail thanks to new tech for realistic foliage and lighting. The marketplace scenes show NPCs going about their business in a believable way, making the game world feel alive. This promises to be an ambitious and immersive RPG adventure.
Salt.
Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
Welcome to Drawbridge, Sam, and to the G8V Magellan, our mobile base of operations. Come on.
Sam, would you mind if I joined you?
Humor him. His knowledge and experience will probably come in handy down the road.
Death Stranding 2 is an action-adventure game where you play again as Sam Porter Bridges, and this time the journey takes you beyond the United Cities of America into Mexico and even Australia, with a bigger focus on survival, connection, and mystery. The game looks absolutely stunning with photorealistic landscapes and insane detail, and traversal feels more complex now with new tools like monorails and harsher weather.
Fine factory all over the continent. Guns and violence, the whole damn world could be yours. Same as it ever was. Oh. Looks like you decided to trade in.
Combat has also improved a lot with new weapons and smarter enemies, and you can fully customize Sam's skills for stealth, fighting, or deliveries.
Fuck!
The story seems deeper and more political, and the new villain played by Luca Marinelli feels just as intense as anything from the first game.
Please understand, Sam.
Every man has an animal within. If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
Dying Light. The Beast is a standalone horror action game built off the world of Dying Light 2, and it puts you back in control of Kyle Crane.
Hey, Olivia, the gas worked. That freak came here.
Did you manage to kill it?
Yeah.
Well, thank God.
This time the story dives way deeper into who he is and what happened after the first game. The Baron seems to be experimenting on him, and you can actually feel the tension in every scene, from creepy underground labs to massive shootouts in the woods. The environments are much more detailed this time, and there's even third-person driving, which honestly looks really smooth. I love how they're finally using cutscenes that let you see your character, and that adds a lot more personality to the world. If you liked the darker parts of the original game, this might be exactly what you've been waiting for. If you're enjoying the video and want to support a growing channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Votre attention, le soleil est sur le point de se coucher. Tous les citoyens sont priés de se mettre à l'abri en intérieur.
Blade is a third-person action game set in a vampire-infested Paris, and it's being made by Arcane Lion, the same studio behind Dishonored and Deathloop. That means you can expect stylish combat, smart level design, and probably a few wild powers too. Blade has his sword, his shades, and that cool, calm energy even while slicing through blood-soaked streets. The tone feels dark and mature, way more horror than superhero, and that's what makes it stand out. If you like gritty action with a touch of the supernatural, this one's worth keeping an eye on.
Get spit.
Lock up tight now. Night's just getting started.
And now, every Ronin here is after you. Still think you're the hunter?
Ghost of Yotei is an upcoming action-adventure game by Sucker Punch, and it takes place 300 years after Ghost of Tsushima, shifting the story to Hokkaido during a time of chaos and rebellion.
You're still with me?
The game follows a new heroine named Atsu, who seems to be a wandering warrior hunted by the shogunate, and her journey is tied deeply to ancient Japanese folklore and the culture of the indigenous Ainu people. The world looks heavily inspired by real history, with crumbling castles, sacred mountains, and mysterious symbols of gods like the Ezo wolf. And trust me, if you liked the cinematic combat and deep world building of Tsushima, this one feels like it's about to raise the bar.
Who are you? I thought we killed your whole family.
The snake. The Oni. The Kitsune. The spider. The dragon. Lord Saito.
What are we going to do with this one?